Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leisha Jackson from FM Systems, and I want to thank you for attending today's webinar, Successfully Manage Moves and Reduce Costs with FM Interact Move Management. Before we begin, I want to cover a few housekeeping items. At the bottom of your console, there are multiple widgets you can use. If you have any questions during the webinar, you can click on the Q&A widget at the bottom and submit your question. We will try to answer these during the webinar or after the webinar is over. You can expand your slide area by clicking on the Maximize icon on the top right of the slide area or by dragging the bottom right corner of that area. An on-demand version of the webinar will be available one day after the webinar, and it can be accessed using the same audience link that was sent to you earlier. Today on the line we have Brian Haynes, our Director of Marketing, and Rob Norton, who is our Manager of Application Engineers and Technical Sales. That being said, Brian, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Leisha. And I'm going to run through a few slides for everyone to introduce our Move Management module as part of the FM Interact Integrated Workplace Management Suite. Just a few quick things. For those of you who don't know about FM Systems, we've been in the business of producing world-class solutions for facilities management, in particular integrated workplace management solutions for more than 30 years. Located in Raleigh, North Carolina with a client portfolio that covers the world. So we're pretty excited to show off some really great new capabilities that we've got in our Move Management module. It's absolutely top-notch, best-in-class solution for managing moves. So really what moves are about is managing the transaction of moving people in and out of your facilities into spaces. And that can either be individual moves where one person is moving from one place to another. It could be small team moves. It could be entire building moves. It could be entire department or divisional moves. And we've got capabilities that allow you to manage all of those. So we really believe that this not only will help you manage the process and transactions around moving people, but it also will increase the quality of your spatial information because you will be controlling that process of those moves. Often, this can help you prevent things like opportunity moves. It enables your entire organization to put a process in place that allows you to review and approve moves before they happen, schedule them, look for blackout dates, so we can avoid doing things such as trying to move people on holidays. You can set that up by country. You can set that up by region. There's a lot of capabilities in here that allow us to be able to implement the software to match your specific process. Now, our Move Management module is part of the larger FM Interact Integrated Workplace Management Suite. We provide tools that allow you to do lifecycle management of your facilities for every facility workflow. Really, our key modules within the entire platform are our space and asset management. That's really where you manage all of the space, the equipment, the furniture, everything within your organizations that can then be transacted upon, and that includes things like move management, project management, being able to do things like full maintenance management, corrective and preventive, lease administration, just about everything you can imagine with your entire organization. Now, keep in mind that this is a modular suite. You don't need to have all of these things. You can implement them as you need. Most of our clients have a handful of these. Some of them have all of them, and it's very quick and easy to get this solution up and running. It's a lot more than just space and asset management. Obviously, FM Interact, a very robust web-based, cloud-based product with mobile enablement. We've got apps that can run on your phones that can allow you to do things like space reservations and look up floor plans on mobile devices like iPads, but also being in a more traditional web-based environment using a browser. It's incredibly robust. It fully integrates with products like AutoCAD and Revit for enabling you to have those facility plans and models as part of your move process. Incredibly robust system. And Rob is going to focus on demonstrating to you some of the new and really powerful capabilities in our Move Management module, as well as looking at some of the capabilities that have been in the Move Management module for a while. So Rob, without further ado, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and hand it over to you to do the demonstration.
That's great. We are actually having a few difficulties right now, Brian, with Rob getting booted up. His machine is having some difficulties. So is there any way that you could possibly do that demonstration?
Let me see if I can do that. Okay, screen share. We apologize for this. The office in Raleigh has had some connectivity issues today that we were aware of, but we were hoping would be resolved. Alicia, let me know if you can see this.
Looks like it's just loading right now. All right, I can see FM Interact.
Okay, great. Well, that was a quick recovery. It looks like I'm going to be doing the demonstration. I've logged into FM Interact, and we're looking at a floor plan. Basically, I went ahead and jumped ahead a little bit. This is where I was within the product earlier. So this is our FMX5 drawing viewer. It allows us to be able to see our facility floor plan really quickly and easily. Now, this is not just a picture. This is a fully interactive floor plan. I can do things such as click on a space within the floor plan, and I can see all of the, not only equipment, et cetera, and information about the space, but I can also see who's in this space. I can see all of the equipment that's installed. I can see upcoming moves. I'm going to go ahead and click on some of these other spaces. Let's see, let's click on one of the private offices and see if there's any occupants in these spaces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pop into another view here called the moving in view. And what this is enabling me to do is see that I've got 6 upcoming moves scheduled for this floor plan. Now when I zoom in here, I can not only see who exists in this space, so if you can see space 1224E here, we've got D. Adkins in that space. And these other spaces down here, like 1224D, we've got an occupant who's going to be moving into that space in the future. And you can see that detailed down here. Lauren Christie is actually going to be it's scheduled to move into this space. Now, how did I go about getting these people moved? Well, it's quite easy. And you can actually do that right on the floor plan now. And this is brand new capability for us. I can simply go ahead and click on a space. I can right-click, and for those of you who are familiar with FM Interact and our right-click capability within the FMX5 viewer, you'll see that there's a new menu selection down here at the bottom, which allows you to be able to take somebody from one of these spaces, add them to a move project, or create individual moves. I can also hold down my control key or my shift key and window over multiple spaces, do a much more complex move than just moving an individual, and I can right-click and go ahead and go into my move management capability right here. I can add all of these people to a single move project, which I can move as a single move, or I can create individual moves by just simply going ahead and clicking on the Create Individual Moves button. Now, what's really, really powerful about this is that we now have a new pop-up floating dialog box over here, which is called the Assign Rooms dialog box. Now I can drag more people over onto this, or I can then drag these people onto spaces to reassign them. The reason that I'm only seeing 2 people, I highlighted 6 spaces, but I'm only seeing 2, is because there were only occupants in 2 of those spaces. Now I can simply just go ahead and drag these people and assign them. This is actually giving me something that's really important. It's telling me that this cubicle is actually not intended for occupancy. So it's really a lot more than just moving people around and scheduling their moves. There are rules that you can build in that prevent you from accidentally assigning someone to a conference room, for example. This is preventing me from moving someone to a room that's been designated as a hoteling space, for instance, and we can manage that as well within the space. So let me just go ahead and hit OK on that. So I can assign these people, and once I've got them assigned, I can just drag them onto the floor. The other option I can do, and this will stay persistent here, is that I can actually go to a different floor of a different building and drag those people to a different location. That's a really, really powerful new capability, and it's really quite important because often it's not as easy as moving people from one space on a floor plan to another, but it may be about moving someone to an entirely new a new building, new floor, etc., and then dragging them and dropping them onto that. Look how quick and easy it is to take these people and assign them. Once I pick the dates for these moves, we can do things such as choose from blackout dates, etc. And what I mean by blackout dates, you know, facility teams are often incredibly busy. They may be doing things where they are so busy they can only schedule moves maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If somebody requests a move outside of those days, we can do things such as block it and require approval. We can essentially maximize the number of moves that can be completed in a day. We've got control over how to do all of that within the product. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit save here. Now these people are actually now scheduled to be part of the move. The other type of move that we can do is called a project move, and that's just a little bit different from managing individual moves. Project moves roll up to a single project. Individual moves are obviously all handled individually. Now I can right click and take all of these people that I just highlighted, and I'm just going to go ahead and add them to a move project. This is going to ask me if I would like to add them to an existing move project, or it's going to allow me to be able to create a new move project. So we'll just do this. We'll call this NA02 new move March 30th. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. And what that's going to do now is it's going to take all of those people, put them in my uncommitted moves pop-up, and allow me to be able to then go in and assign those people, just like I would in an individual move. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we can look at moves. We can look at them from this view, which allows us to be able to manage those individual or project moves in a drag and drop fashion. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. Or we can simply go ahead and pop into what we call a move project status view. So once I do this, it's going to bring up my new move right here in the list. I can go ahead and click on that project move, and it's going to bring up the details about that move. Now, I actually haven't done anything with this yet. Let me just go ahead and hit the edit button on this. And I can edit the details about this move project. This is the high-level details. I can do things such as, you know, what's the move status? It's just simply scheduled. I can pick the actual scheduled move date for this project team move. We'll make it tomorrow. I can pick out who, it knows I'm the requester because I'm actually logged in right now as John Bryant. We can pick the reason. This is a departmental move. Keeping in mind that FM Interact is highly configurable. Everything that you're seeing here, all of the fields, the drop-down values, the ability to be able to provide specific access to certain people, all of that is highly configurable. And we can actually post the move or look at the actual move date. Now these are the 6 people in this list right here that, whoops, I went ahead and clicked on somebody. It's going to bring up that individual person themselves. What this is going to allow me to do is see all of those people that I did that window over on the floor plan and did a right click and created a new move project. And there's a number of different things here now that we have actually not filled in. We can manage tasks, and these are highly configurable as well. The tasks associated with a move, we could do things such as schedule when the boxes show up. We can do things such as when IT services show up to move that person, move their phone line, move their internet connection if that's required, IT and connectivity. Any furniture that's going to be associated with that move. This person may have ergonomic furniture that's been assigned to them that we definitely want to have move with them when they go to their new space. We can control that, as well as the ability to be able to highly configure the approval process around these moves as well. We can look at the scheduled date. We can automatically zoom to the floor plan very easily. I'm just going to go ahead and hit quick view. And this is really what's quite unique about FM Interact and our move management module and our capabilities in general. We really don't delineate between the data and the floor plans themselves. The floor plans are actually maintained into the database. We really just consider them to be data and associated with those views, and it allows us to be able to seamlessly go back and forth between data and the actual floor plans themselves. So we'll just go ahead and close this down, and I'm going to go back to my move list. I can also edit the sequence. This is really important because we may have to move these people in a specific sequence from one room to another. This may be a complex move that have people moving out of spaces and people moving into those very same spaces. We can control the sequencing around that. or you can control the sequencing as the end user. You can drag and drop those to control that sequence. It's really pretty powerful. And then we can also obviously go in here. We can take one of the individuals themselves, and we can figure out what room that person is going to go to. So right now we've got Margaret going from this room. We can then go into our database and select from our entire physical space inventory, or let's just go ahead and go to another building. We're just going to say, let's pick, I want to pick a building that I know has got some good spaces in it. Let's go ahead and go into the first floor. We're going to pick one of these rooms. I'm going to pick this private office, or I could pick, that's saying it's already occupied. The safe thing to do is to click one of the green spaces on the floor plan, because those are the ones that are actually available. I'm going to go ahead and hit select. It's going to put that in. I'm going to go ahead and pick the scheduled date. Now, this is what I was talking about in terms of blackout dates. This is telling me that actually for the rest of the month, everything is blacked out. That's because I've got a lead time on moves. You don't want somebody to request a move the day that they want to move into a space. You want to be able to put some parameters around those so that you can have blackout dates and enable you to be able to actually go in and pick those in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, yep, there's actually only 1 day left in March. We've got a blackout period of 3 days around those moves. I can see that the next available move time for this individual is going to be the 5th. Now, that is a rule that's built in. It's highly configurable based upon your processes. If you are a move administrator, you can override those blackout dates if you so choose, and you can force it so that you can actually manage that move on a date that's blacked out if you've been given permission to do that. I can also pick the time that I want that move to occur. We're going to say that we want that to happen at 9:30 in the morning. We can update the employee info and make this automatically get pushed out to our HR system where we keep that. Is this going to be an assignment to a new department? What the reason is going to be for our move, etc. We're just going to say location update, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit save change. And what you're going to notice now is that Margaret's really all set at this point. She's got to move from, move to. She's got the move date and the move time set. The status has been automatically approved, and the reason that it is approved is because I am the approver. If I'm just someone else, maybe a departmental admin who has not been given approval privileges, when that person would log in, they would request that move, and I, as the move administrator, would then be given the ability to be able to approve that move. On top of all this capability, we've got very robust reporting built in that allows us to be able to look at reports across a number of different, across the entire portfolio. All of these reports are built into the system and are able, so we've got this one right now. We've got a scheduled move. That's Margaret Travis, which you actually saw me do just a few minutes ago. She is ready for move, and we're going to be moving her. I can look at things such as my move calendar, and this is going to enable me to be able to look at this, and you'd see a fully robust move calendar filled out here if Rob was demoing. He typically does our demos, and once again, I apologize for that little IT error that we had. We knew that we had a connectivity issue, and we were hoping we were going to resolve it. However, I think what you've seen is our ability to be able to really quickly and easily manage moves within FM Interact with our move management module. I can flip right back to the floor plan really easily. And one last thing I wanted to leave all of you with, and that is FM Interact has an incredibly powerful graphical viewing capability that allows us to be able to do things such as look at the floor plan in a number of different ways. If I'm doing my moves and I want to make sure that I'm moving individuals from one specific department and I'm not making a mistake moving those people, I can turn on my departmental view. I can once again go in here and do what I was doing earlier. I know that I only want to move people from this particular department, and I can right click and I can go ahead and do this as well. I can also do things such as turn on, let's say, my furniture plan so that I can see what rooms are going to have furniture involved in that move. I can also do something that's brand new that we have called multi-select graphic theming, and this allows you to be able to create your own custom color-coded queries, which would allow me to see departments with furniture turned on at the same time. It's really, really robust. And what this essentially allows you to do is to have an entire view of your facility plan in a way that provides visual feedback to you for your move process that's going to enable you to be much more successful. And in the end, you're going to be able to control those transactional processes around moving people in and out of your facilities, whether it be a simple one-person move from one space to another, or an incredibly complex move where we're taking an entire department and moving them from one floor to an entirely different building, maybe even spreading them out over multiple buildings, multiple floors, etc. So without further ado, Leisha, what I think I'll do is I'm going to end here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to our question period.
Sure thing, Brian. Thank you for that great presentation. Looks like we do have a question. Can blackout dates only apply to moves of a certain size? I believe we still have Rob Norton on the line as well.
Yeah, Rob, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. You know, we can apply different calendar rules depending on the type of move. So if we have, say, a move project or a group move, we can actually have different rules, calendar rules around that. So the answer is yes.
All right, let's see. How many companies are creating new moves in this manner? Is this a new feature?
So this is a fairly new feature, but we see people are very quickly picking this up. So, you know, I think this came out, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, about a month or two ago. So we're getting a lot of good feedback, but I don't know that I have a good number of how many people are using it at the moment.
Right. So our move management module has actually been released for several years. We've got hundreds of customers who've used this, and they've done literally hundreds of thousands of moves. This new drag and drop capability, as well as some of the enhanced graphic theming, is something that's fairly new for us and is enabling us to do a lot of new things visually directly on the floor plan, where we would have had to go back to those list views to manage, for instance, the assignment.
All right. Why don't the office cube lines and the space polygons line up in this image? I believe that was referring to a previous floor plan.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's just a little bit of, I guess, sloppiness on our part. You know, it comes right from the architectural drawings when we put those polylines in. Coincidentally, it's actually a customer of ours' data and drawings we're using, so that's just, you know, how they happen to come across. But that kind of adjustment's pretty easy to do in AutoCAD and Reflect in the system.
Right.
All right, I see some questions regarding the cost of the module. That is actually something that we will take offline. We'll have a manager follow up with you and further discuss our pricing model. You know, it depends on how many users you have and how many modules you have, so on and so forth. So we will take that question offline. Let's see. What release is the drag and drop functionality included in?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think, boy, we were right around
841.
hotfix.
Yeah.
Yeah, 841 early on. So not sure of exactly which hotfix, but yeah, it's with the 841 release. Yeah,
please reach out to us on that specifically. Obviously, that's coming directly from a customer, and we'll make sure you're on the version that supports this.
All right, we have a good question here. Let's see. Once a floor plan is set and moves are complete, any thoughts on how to stop ghost moves from occurring? And we're defining ghost moves here as employees that are moving themselves to an empty seat. This individual works for a very large company, and it's hard for them to keep their floor plans accurate.
Yes, I spent a while in space planning, space management myself, you know, about a decade ago. So I know what you mean. The best way is to charge people for it. There's, you know, nothing physically, obviously, we can do to say, no, you can't pick up and move. But a good deterrent is to charge people back for that, those moves and for the space they're occupying.
We also have another capability that we didn't show here today. This is available on a mobile device like an iPad or an Android device. We've also got, and available through our FM mobile module, so when you're walking the floor, you can actually see that real-time updated picture of what your occupancy looks like, and you're going to have much higher success at capturing those people who've done, or finding those people who've done opportunity moves, but because you're going to be able to have that out there in the field and verify it. We also have a workplace. Oh, go ahead. We also have a workplace survey module that can help with that as well. So there are some techniques that you can use by just having that live, up-to-date information out there in the field with a mobile device. You'll be able to capture those pretty easily, I think.
All right. Are the drag and drop moves recorded in the completed moves view?
So the drag and drop moves, just on the floor plan, that's within space management, those are not recorded, but they're really designed for the one-off moves. What Brian was showing as far as being able to right-click and then either create individual moves or add those people to a new move or existing move project, those are fully recorded within the move management module. So it really just depends on which method you're using.
Do different user roles have different views of the same module? Could you show what a move requester would see or what a move liaison would see?
So to answer the question, yeah, absolutely. The different roles are going to have different views potentially, relating specifically to what they need to see. So for instance, IT could even have a version of this view where they need to track their task for completing these moves. May have different fields, different different items showing, even different color coding. So that is completely configurable, and it's really initially defined during the discovery session of implementation.
Will the map be updated once the move schedule was completed, or is somebody able to go in and mark them as complete?
Yeah, so the way we have it out of the box is the ability to post a move, right? So when that move date comes around, the move planner would go in and say, yes, okay, these moves are completed, I'm signing off, and I'm actually completing them, which is when we'd actually show them as being located in those new spaces. Now, potentially, we could also have it configured to automatically post on that date, but most people choose not to do that because those of us involved in office moves realize that they don't necessarily happen the exact date they should.
All right, and where is the move calendar?
So the move calendar is a report we have, and it depends on what version you started with in FM Interact, but it should be under the report section of the move management module, and if not, certainly let us know and we can get that out to you.
All right. And we do actually have some more questions in the queue, but unfortunately they are flooding in, and we just want to make sure that everyone gets some time back in their day for their daily tasks. So we are going to take the rest of these offline and follow up with you afterwards. So I want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar and taking the time out of your day. I hope you found it beneficial, and please feel free to view the recording afterwards, send it along to some of your colleagues, and reach out to us if you have any questions at all. And again, the link that you accessed today in order to view this webinar turns into an on-demand archived version a day after the webinar. So check back, and you can forward that along to some colleagues as well. So thank you again. Thank you to Brian and to Rob for being online today, for putting on this great presentation.